right, so I want to pull up two survival tools, potential survival tools, useful tools for under $20. We're just doing two tools this time, each one under $20. The first one I'm looking at is the Cat XL 9-in-1 multi-tool set. It was $19.95, I believe. And then I picked this up here. I think it was on sale. Chameleon with a K, Speed Cut Pro 7/180. It was $11.99. So these are great tools to have. Bug out bag, get home bag, just around the farm, in your truck, in your toolbox. Could be both really useful tools. I wanted to break them open, take a look. Now the cost of multi-tools can vary dramatically, right? And certainly quality is going to be a factor. You know, when you look at your Leatherman, right? This Leatherman Charge Titanium was a very expensive multi-tool, and you can feel it. It feels solid. It feels sturdy. Not saying it's not worth the price, but certainly on the high end when it comes to multi-tools, multi-purpose tools. Did a video on that one. It's a great multi-tool. And the other side is something like this. This is kind of I'll say a unknown brand. No insult to them. Pohaku, right? I showed this one before. This was more like a $10 multi-tool, and it's actually still a pretty good little multi-tool. So the price can vary dramatically from 100, say 150, 200 bucks on the Leatherman side to something a little more generic, right? And one thing I liked about this multi-tool was the knife. When I had this one, these aren't the ones I'm showing today, but it felt like it had a good solid knife, right? So there's a lot of them out there. I've shown a few. These are two I've already shown before, and I'm building up my collection of multi-tools here because why not? Everyone's got to have a hobby. I'm going to try to get this one out of the box, and we'll take a look at it. One thing that caught my eye on this multi-tool is the size of the handle. You know, I mean, it's either going to be too big or it's going to feel great in your hand. It's got a huge handle. This says knife blade with safety liner lock, single cut file, Phillips screwdriver, bottle opener, long nose pliers, wire cutter, and crimper, and it comes with a pouch. It's certainly big. It looks like a big multi-tool, but the size of the handle is what caught my attention. Let's see if I can get the package open. Brought the big scissors out here with me. Try to get this open here. This is Cat brand. So I think it was $19.95 at Sam's Club. Might be available online if we can find it on Amazon or something. We'll put it on the Amazon page. Make it easier for you. Just going to kind of disintegrate this package trying to get it out, but that's how it goes. Be careful on the pointy part. Alright. So it is a big pouch, right? Comparatively, you know, we'll bust out the Leatherman here again. Be careful on the knife. Alright, even with the knife out, we'll extend the knife blade here. Which one do I like? Right, obviously there's a size difference, right? But that's smaller is not always better, right? Depends on the situation. Sometimes size matters, right? Sometimes size is annoying, especially if you got to carry it in your pocket. So here we go. Cat XL 9-in-1. Let's kind of walk through it. Obviously, first time I've done anything with it. Just took it out of the package. Got it at Sam's Club. So I'm taking the plastic protector off the blade. It should be pretty obvious how it works. I know I've struggled with some of them in the past. We'll go full put away here. See what we're really talking about. So that is hefty, right? It absolutely is a hefty tool. That said, could have an advantage. So we'll get the pliers out and see how usable are they, right? So I'm lefty. I'm using a righty. I would imagine something like that. Something I noticed right away. Feels like plastic, right? This feels like metal. This feels like plastic. So if you do have one, I guess it's metal lined. I'm not trying to give him a hard time here. You can see it as metal lined. Plastic kind of jumps out at me as why. And the size might work against you here. I think kind of like that. It could work as pliers, right? Not saying it wouldn't work as pliers. Said you've got crimper. You've got a few capabilities here just based on the shape. Not a fan of the plastic feel, even though there is metal there. I feel like the size of the tool is going to work against you on those pliers. Blade though, I mean that's a big knife, right? It's a big handle, a little big on the handle. Feels beefy though. That's a large knife compared to some of the other knives here. This is a combination saw and a file, right? So you got the metal file here. You got your saw, potentially for cutting wood. What else would you use the saw for? I guess cutting other stuff. This is your, I guess, screwdriver, bottle opener kind of combo situation there. I think it's just going to flip back in. Then if I can get to it here, even another screwdriver type implement. Once again, large handle. I guess if you really needed that leverage, assuming it could hold up to it. So not bad. Not putting it down. I said it was $19 for the tool. Certainly, if the knife is your main focus, it's a lot of knife in a multi-tool, but it's a big pouch. It's going to take up a lot of room. Right, you can compare the pouches against, say, the Leatherman pouch, right, or even against the kind of a little more, I'll call it generic or less known brand. So it is a large pouch, and part of that, I guess, the size is to accommodate the knife. But if you want a heavy-duty handle, that'll get you there. So not a bad tool, right? $19 might be a price point that you're looking at. Certainly something to consider. I wouldn't say no. So the next one I want to look at is more of a folding saw. I like this one. It was $11.99. It looked good. We can kind of open it up and take a look. It says it's got a tapered blade, hard chrome plated, crosscut tri-edge, impulse hardened teeth, replacement blade, ergonomic non-slip grip, and it tells you on the back how to do a blade change if you need to change the blade. Certainly not a silky saw, and I'm looking at the silky saws and I just can't, in my head I can't get there, right? It's $100 is the one I was looking at. I'm sure there's cheaper and whatnot, but if I'm comparing it against, I think the 12-inch silky saw is $100. This is a 7-inch for $11, so sort of hard to go wrong. It's made in Korea. Folding saw. It feels light, which may or may not, once again, be a good thing. Size is inevitable. If you want a 7-inch saw, it's going to be large. No pouch. Didn't come with a pouch, and that seems pretty straightforward. Folds out, clicks. You see the blade looks good. I mean, that looks like an aggressive cut blade for cutting wood. It says Speed Cut Pro. I think you probably just push that in to lower the blade, to unlock it. Folds up. What else is it going to do, right? So you got to click it to lock it, click it to unlock it. I could see, is that going to, just wondering like where I'm going to hold the saw, accidentally unlock it? Maybe not. Not putting them down. I haven't tried to use it. It feels light and it does kind of feel durable at the same time. So it might be a good balance. I'd have to maybe spend a little time cutting some wood to really know how good it is, but it looks like a nice blade, looks like aggressive teeth on it, folds up into a tight space, so not a bad deal. Said for $11.99. I guess I could do a compare here. This is a little more than $11.99, and just show you the blades between this saw and this saw. And what's kind of jumping out at me here, as you can see, I mean, this is some aggressive teeth compared to this saw, which I've used many times. So not a horrible deal, right? $11.99. Two tools. So that's two tools here, under $20. You might be interested in your cat, your chameleon with a K. So hope that helps out. We're just trying to give you ideas, right? Whether it's your get-home bag, your bug-out bag, you keep them in your truck, keep them in your shop, whatever it is, wherever you work. It's always good to have tools, and multi-tools have a tendency to check a lot of boxes. They may not be as good as having all those tools lined up, right? I said between these two, if you had to pick which saw you're going to use, right? If we had 3 saws here, let's see, we'll fold it out. You got this saw, you've got this saw, right? So multi-tool, non-multi-tool, not a big comparison. If you said I got to cut some wood, which saw do I want to use, which one am I going to grab, right? So that is the disadvantage of multi-tools. It's sort of that jack of all trades. They're trying to squeeze as much as they can in that space, and you're not always maybe going to end up with the best of everything. That knife is pretty beefy though, right? I mean, you're not no joke on that knife, say compared to my pocket knife, right? I mean, the blade actually has some similarities. This is certainly a beefier knife, so perhaps even being a multi-tool, it leaned heavy into the knife side. The saw is there if you need it. I'm not loving necessarily the pliers. Let's not have an injury here. I just, for some reason, these pliers aren't doing it for me. I think it's going to be awkward to use on the pliers. So that's the disadvantage, right? Whenever you're talking about a multi-tool, is you're not always getting the best of everything, but there's fair amount of tools in one spot. $19, $19.95 might be the price point that catches you. So once again, kind of looping there. Thank you for watching. We do appreciate you. As always, thanks.